Hello and welcome back to Tony Northeastern, and I'd just like to show you the bungalow now it's in place, along with the street scene, how it's improved. Alright, there's the bungalow with the garage in place now and the old Oxford car on the drive. And as you come round, still a bit more work to do here, of course. I have got a building planned for there, and I'm waiting for it. It's on order at the moment, and still a little bit of work here to do here. Got to continue this hillside around, and as you notice, there's some trees. And the lawn is done round the front of the bungalow. So the street scene is coming along quite well. Yeah, as you can see. Right, now the bungalow's finished, I have made a start on a footbridge for high shields. I've just placed it temporarily there for the moment. Obviously it's got to be painted yet, so I shall continue with that and then finish it off. So it's come along quite well here. It's high shields. Okay, this is the bridge I've decided to use for high shields. It's a ratio kit, and it's a covered footbridge, as you can see in the photographs there. But I'm not going to leave it that colour, hence why I have left the panels off. The grill panels, I've left them off. I've put the handrails in so I can paint all the handrails the required red that I'm going to use, and paint the steps and platforms before gluing the rest of it together. As you can see, I've still got a few more handrails to fit, because I've done all that side ready. How I've been doing it is I've been using the mesh panels as a template to put the handrails in position, like so, and then removing them, and then just leaving that handrail in place. So I shall continue putting the rest of the handrails on. Obviously I've put the mesh in these corners just to keep these upright as straight as possible and stop them bending in or out. So I'll have to take a bit of care when I'm painting round this area here. So I shall get back to you when it's all painted. Okay, I'd like to tell you a little bit about this before I start painting it. The full length of this is roughly about 240 millimeters wide, and it can be extended by another 30 millimeters. So if you are using one of these bridges for your platforms. That's what you're looking at. You're looking at between 240 and 270 millimeters from outside to outside, depending if you were putting the extension piece in, which goes in the middle here, so you can extend it out a little bit further if you were doing 3 tracks all in the middle. And so I just thought I'd quickly mention that before I start painting it. Okay, I've finished painting all the BRR Blood colour by Phoenix Paints, and it's looking quite good. It's still a bit tatty yet, so once it's dry I'll be able to start fitting these panels. I'm not going to bother painting these panels, I'm going to leave them as they are. And then we'll see where we go from there. And it's been tricky painting it assembled. Still got the underside to do. I'm going to paint that black where my fingers are, and the smoke pans, I'm going to paint them black underneath as well. What I did do with the smoke pans here and here is I sat the footbridge on the platforms and literally stuck the pans on in situ so that they line up perfectly across the platforms when I come to fit it. And yes, and then that should look good. Right, as you can see, I've fitted all the mesh panels now, and all the roof is now complete, stuck on. It was a bit fiddly fitting in the mesh panels, and it's turned out quite alright. Some of the mesh panels I had to trim down the edges, especially on the diagonal ones, to get them to fit. Just a couple of shavings off the edges just to get them to line up properly, and apart from that they went together alright. And the good thing is, with using this Revell polyester glue, is it doesn't show up when you use it against the paint. So I've had very little touching up to do, and which is good. So the next thing to do is to paint the roof and then give it a very, very light weathering, not over the top, because I like the colour as it is without blackening it too much. I've painted the underside with the black, and the colours I'm going to be using for the roof, it will be a matte, a Umbral matte mixed in with a little bit of silver. Be using these two colours here, mix them together, which will give you a shiny greyish galvanizing effect for the roof. Okay, so I shall do that and get back to you when it's complete. Alright, welcome back. I've painted the roof and weathered the grills and the steps going up and over, so that's all done. I've tried to lay it on thin, but you could hardly see it, so I put the weathering on a bit thicker, and it's really shown up quite nicely, especially in these areas here and there. Right, we'll go and put it on the layout. Right, here it is on the layout, and it's made a nice little addition to the station. As you can see,